Welcome to another episode of the Campus Rundown here. I see we got some people checking in already, some VSU people checking in already. Showing some love over here. We got John, Carlos, some more people checking in. So let's go ahead and get into it. Once again, welcome to the Campus Rundown, you all. If you all are new to the show, the Campus Rundown is a show for HBCU students. It's the premier show giving HBCU students a voice about HBCU student life and everything in between. So we are gonna go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and just go around the room and let everyone introduce themselves. I'll start with you, Ishmar.
Um, Good evening, everybody. My name is Isamar Kirby. I'm a current sophomore and presidential scholar at the incredible Virginia State University. I'm also a Strata Scholar, and I'm a part of 3 different organizations on campus. So I'm the Civil Justice Chair of NAACP. I'm the Executive Legislator of the Sophomore Council, and I am also the treasurer of the only Hispanic org on campus, Si Se Puede. That's a little bit about me. I'm also a first-generation American. My mom is from Panama and my dad is from Jamaica. As you can see, my family's in the chat. Big ups to them. That's a little bit about me.
Hello.
Did you hear all of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. I am Deontay Davis. I am a sophomore psychology major. I'm from Chesapeake, Virginia. On campus, I serve as the president for the Virginia State University Honors College, co-captain for speech and debate, and I'm also a residential assistant.
Yes. All right, and lastly, let's go ahead into our Talladega family at the bottom here.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Bernard Adams. I'm a senior here at Talladega College studying music education. I'm a part of the Talladega College marching band, and I'm a member of the Gamma Gamma chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And here are my line brothers.
How y'all doing? What's good, y'all? My name is Ashton Hall. I am a senior elementary education major. I have a couple of roles on campus. I serve as SJ president for this year and also serve as the pole mark for our Gamma chapter, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, which is the president as well.
How y'all doing? My name is Tyler Walker. I'm a senior finance major from Mobile, Alabama. I am the choir manager here at Talladega College, and I'm the vice president of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, the Gamma Gamma chapter.
What's up? My name is Robert Walker. I'm currently a senior biology and psychology major here. I'm part of the competitive cheer team, debate team, HCAS trivia team, and also Crimson Ambassador. And I am also a part of Gamma Gamma chapter, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
That's beautiful.
All right. So before we get into it, once again, welcome everyone to the Campus Rundown show. Tonight, the conversation is going to be about branding, personal branding yourself as a student. And of course, that's something important that everyone should know as a student, building that, making a name for yourself on campus so that translates over into the professional world as well. So that's what the conversation is about. So if you all have any questions, definitely feel free to drop those in the chat as well. I want to ask you all also too, let's get into a little bit of maybe fun facts about you all's campus, Virginia State and Talladega. What are some things people should know in particular about your campus that they may not know?
Okay, I guess we'll go first. One thing about our campus, we are the first private HBCU here in the state of Alabama. Our campus is very small, so it gives an opportunity to connect it. We host different events when it comes from student entertainment, student activities, student mentality, just certain things to keep the student engaged. But the main thing about it is, like I said, we are very small in culture, so it just gives each and every one an opportunity to connect and bond and just become one.
I'll go next. A fun fact about my HBCU, we actually hold the national titles for Royal Court. Our previous Mr. VSU is now Mr. HBCU, and our current Mrs. Virginia State University, Joy Watson, is Miss National. I want to get the title wrong. National Black College Hall of Fame alumna.
All right. Look, thank you for those. I mean, it's so many, HBCUs and different things that, like I've never been to Talladega. I've never been to Virginia State either. So it's always interesting learning some new things about, about each campus. So Once again, let's see. We got some more people checking in here in the comments. Once again, welcome in if you're just joining us. Welcome to the Campus Rundown show. Tonight is going to be all about personal branding. And so let's go ahead and get into the conversation here. And I'll start with you, Ishamar. Let's tell us a little bit about I know you're a part of so many different organizations on campus, and so tell us a little bit about, especially for the freshmen out there, the process that you went through into really like getting yourself involved on campus.
Okay, so thank you for that introduction. At Virginia State, in your freshman year, you're actually not allowed to join any social organizations. So you can focus on your GPA and just getting acquainted between the transition from high school to college. So as a sophomore, I kind of threw myself all the way in. I've been busy, but it's very exciting. Some tips I would give to freshmen, if you are allowed to join organizations and things like that, about your personal brand is your personal brand is who you are off paper. So it's not your resume. Your personal brand is also very important because it takes a long time to curate it, but it can take minutes to destroy it as well. You want to think about your image, how you're perceived when you're not in the room, how you leave a room, your lasting effect when you're no longer in something as well. You also don't want to burn bridges. So even if you can't go with a certain company or a certain offer, you want to politely decline, but always keep those contacts valid and always keep those contacts alive because you'll never know when you might need people down the road. So those are some tips I would give, not just freshmen, but anyone in general. Does that answer your question?
I'm sorry, I was on mute, y'all. Sorry. No, that was great. That was great. We'll hit on a few of those points later on in the conversation. But let's see who wants to go. How about you, Deontay? Let's go to you next.
Oh, so first and foremost, a great sermon from another honor college student. But I would have to agree with much of what Issa said. But I'll also add that another part of your personal brand as a freshman is your professors. How do they see you? How are you interacting with them? Are you coming to class on time? Are you coming to class early? Meetings, and just your peers as well. I make it a point that when I see people, whether I know them or not, freshman, sophomore, X, Y, and Z, to smile at them, to have a conversation with them if they indulge you. But definitely make sure that you make sure everyone is feels validated and seen, because that speaks a lot about yourself. Sometimes I think it's very easy for us to get in our own head, in our own sense of self-sufficiency and self-identity, that we lose sight of the fact that other people do exist around us. And it's very important and imperative that you set a light on other people.
All right. Let's hear from what about our Talladega family?
I would say the key word and your main focus being your freshman year is you have to actually stay focused. Your freshman year is where you start your brand. And again, your appearance is everything, whether it's visual or mental. That's where you talk to your teacher, you put yourself out there, you put the right image out there for people to look at you, you know? So yes, you have to stay focused and be open. Like this is where you start your brand. This is where you build your future during your freshman year. But you have to stay focused. You have to stay focused. That is the only way. And just be yourself. Just be yourself.
Yes. I love, especially that staying focused. And I think, that's especially as college students, it could be, it's a lot of distractions. It's a lot of things to get into. So that staying focused is important. Before we move forward, I do want to even ask you all like about honors college. Let's talk a little bit about that for a second for people who aren't familiar with the VSU honors college. Let's kind of get into a little bit about what that is, and we can kind of tie that into our conversation about branding as well.
Okay, I'll take this one since I'm the president. So with the VU Honors College, you have to conduct it with a 3.4 GPA or higher, and then you have to maintain a 3.0 GPA. They're very, very keen on offering you many opportunities. So someone in the chat, her name is Kayla, actually. She's on my council, but she was also one of, I believe, 29 students, as well as Issa, who were able to go to LI, which is the Leadership Institute, which was funded by the Thurgood Marshall College Fund in New York. All expenses paid. Other than that, we also do study abroad. So you have the opportunity to travel outside of the country as credits accredited to you at the university. And it's a great place where you find people like-minded who are stern and trying to gain more knowledge, stern and trying to acquire and satiate that hunger for knowledge and well-being. And also the advisors that you have, Dr. Hobson, Dean, Dr. Roberts, they do a great job of putting you in the place that you need to be, introducing you to executives, introducing you to owners and CEOs of other companies. Um,
Yeah, to piggyback off of my wonderful colleague Deontay, like he said, I did have the great opportunity to attend the Leadership Institute with TMCF about 2 to 2.5 weeks ago. I must say it was the best trip in my higher education career so far. TMCF is basically a nonprofit organization that does a lot of things for public HBCUs. My freshman year, since I wasn't really in social organizations due to the policy on our campus, I also had a chance to attend the VCHC conference as well. So that's the Virginia Collegiate Honors Council conference. With a lot of other PWIs as well. So that kind of opened up our horizons to not just the HBCU world, but the college world as a whole as well. The Honors College became a college the year that Deontay and I, our first year, which was 21, obviously the 2022 school year. It used to be just a department, but now we have over 600 members and they have a lot of wonderful opportunities. And like he mentioned, study abroad. I will be going to Morocco in the spring with the Honors College as well. And that's also a course credit that I will be getting as well. So there's a lot of great opportunities at VSU through the Honors College.
Yes, and I see a lot of your honors college families definitely checking in the chat. So shout out to the Talladega and Virginia State family for checking in this evening. So just to kind of recap, so to be a part of the honors college, what are like the requirements for students being a part of that?
So the requirements are you have to have a 3.4 GPA or higher. You also have to be an active member. So that means when we have events, we have a formal induction, and in the spring we have a convocation. So you have to attend those. You also have to have a provost or presidential STEM scholarship. And one thing they've added this year is that by the end of each semester, they want you to submit your resume. So one, there should be growth on your resume, but also to make sure that you're continuously updating it as you matriculate to college.
Okay. I love that. I just kind of wanted to get that out there, and like I said, we can kind of bridge that with the conversation for branding. So I want to take this back to building a personal brand. I want you all to speak to the introverts out there, for people who may want to join a fraternity, a sorority, or just be a part of these different organizations, but say they're introverts and they're trying to figure out, like, okay, how do I even put myself out there to, be a part of these different organizations?
I guess I'll go. So originally, I've been wanting to join a fraternity. When I got to college, I made sure I did my research constantly. I would constantly ask myself questions. Personally, I'm an introvert. I don't like people. I'm really shy. I'm a closed shell. So I just made sure I did my research. So when I was a freshman, I started there. So that's when you really want to start branding yourself. So I would join clubs, see if I liked it or not, did different activities. I was, being around, showing my face on campus. So when it came time for me to decide what organization, I did my research again, make sure I talked to people, see how it was. And, you just want to branch out and, talk to people and get a real feel of what you want to do. And like, is that really what you want to do? So
Uh,
I would say, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Okay, I would say the first step for anyone in general, introverts, extroverts, or even if you're a mix of the two, is to believe in yourself. I think a lot of us, especially when it comes to scholars or people in general, sometimes you forget to believe in yourself and to really believe in the power and the abilities that you hold, and to see yourself in those future spots that might not have come into real concrete possibilities at the moment, but you have to believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, then you're able to do anything. So before someone else believes in you, before somebody lets you into this frat or sorority or this organization, you have to take that chance, by really seeing yourself where you want to be. So believing yourself is the first step for anybody, in my opinion. Deontay.
So actually, I agree much to it, and that's great. But on the converse of that, I also find someone who believes in you. In order to find the work, you must know someone who has already. So finding a mentor or even a sponsor, and there's a vast difference between someone who's a mentor and someone who's a sponsor. But find you a mentor push you to those places that maybe you weren't as comfortable or you weren't as certain of going to. And definitely find someone that you can connect with, whether that be with your major, whether that be through your academics, whether that be through your extracurricular activities that you may like. And I think as an introvert, it might be easier to find one person to relate to, and they kind of pull you out of your shell than just going out in front of a whole group of people and then expressing yourself because it's not that easy. So definitely find someone who fits your vibe, who fits who sees the potential in you, and hopefully you can then do as Issa said and find that potential within yourself.
Yes, I love that. That's definitely some great information. And once again, welcome everyone. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Campus Rundown Show. The topic tonight is all things building a personal brand as a student. If you're new to the Campus Rundown Show, it's the premier show for HBCU student college experience. So giving HBCU students a voice to talk about all things HBCU student life and all things in between. So shout out to everyone in the comments checking in. I see a lot of the Talladega family checking in. So if you all have any questions as well, definitely feel free to drop those in the comment section and we will be sure to address those. So the next one I want to hit at is keeping up an image when it comes to branding, right? Because of course your personal image definitely plays a big part of that. Once again, if you're wanting to join different organizations or get different internships as well. So I want you all to speak to that aspect of the importance of just really keeping that reputation for yourself as you build your personal brand through college.
I would say the first thing about your image, you have to have a high head on your shoulders. Always walk as a man, especially walk out with your chest out and your head up because everybody is watching, whether they know you or not, whether you're by yourself, whether you're in a group of people, whether you're in a calf, walking to class, library, somebody is watching. And you never know the impact that that person can have, you know? So just always keep a high head on your shoulder, smile as much as you can, don't be going around campus doing foolish stuff and just be yourself, but make sure that you know that people are always looking.
That's a really great point. I think that oftentimes people forget that regardless of where you are and who is around, that there is someone watching you. But another thing that I would add too is that we aren't perfect. You are not perfect. No one is perfect. So you will have mess ups, you will have mistakes. So I think it's also important for you to be cognizant of that and to not allow those to define you or to deter you. And that even in those mess ups, even in those mishaps, that keep you keep the pace. Much like he said, that you keep your head up and that you continue to walk with your chest out. And so I think when it's holding and maintaining that image that you have for yourself, it's very, very important. Excuse me. It's very important to kind of sometimes take a break. And not only should you recognize that, but you should be proud of it. I think the more proud you are, obviously, to still be humble, but the more proud you are of what you are doing and who you are, it makes it easier for you to keep up with this appearance and with this personality that you have.
Mhm.
To answer your question, I would say like the two number one tips I have in terms of maintaining your personal brand throughout college, I would say to find out what makes you unique. So definitely try and dig deep, do some introspective, self-reflective work to see what sets you apart from the rest of your counterparts. Because in the end, that's gonna be what makes you shine and what's gonna make you come out on top as well. The second thing I would say is be open to feedback and constructive criticism. A lot of the time, sometimes when you do get into this org or where you do get this position, sometimes people don't understand that you can still make errors and we all still have room to grow no matter how far you do get. So I would say always be open to constructive criticism and feedback that will help your journey and help you go farther along as well. So those are my two tips.
Yes, that's some great information. And I want to ask you too, Bernard, especially you being a drum major, right? Because you're like really, you're like, I guess like one of the main faces of the band. Like you know, kind of hold it all together. So for you, you holding that position as a drum major, like how do you feel like that's affected your personal brain and being able to connect with just different people? It's outside of you being a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity.
So within the band, you have these specific stages, and these stages go by the years that you are at the institution. So as a freshman, you start off as a freshman, you know, and you in your freshman year, you lay back, you follow the rules, and you see how the band operates. But also, you have to keep in mind that the staff, the band staff, and the section leaders and your upperclassmen are watching you. And if you get to the point to be a drum major, you have to have certain leadership skills to maintain that position. It takes leadership skills to get the position, but you also have to keep it. So being a drum major, it teaches you leadership skills, it teaches you responsibility, and it teaches you how to maintain your life, your schoolwork, and also maintaining the band. Because as a drum major, you are a reflection of the band director. And what that means, the band director should be able to come to you and give you these certain tasks so his job would be easier. And as a drum major, you have to keep up with that. You have no room for slacking or anything.
Yeah, it's a lot. I can imagine it's a lot. I see we have a question in here too. Let's see. John Shaquille Porter asks, when it comes to maintaining your image, is it possible to balance being a public personality and a freshman?
Yeah, I'll take that one. Just to piggyback off of what my colleagues said earlier. So the two key things would be to remember that someone is always watching. Never get sloppy. Never forget who you are and your placement on campus and what you're truly about. That should always be at the forefront of everything that you do and everything that you stand for. I would also say balance is key to everything. Even as a freshman, don't be afraid to put yourself out there to get involved as much as you possibly can as well. And the third tip I would say, when it comes to social media, nothing can actually be deleted. Nothing is forgotten. There are screenshots, screen recordings, all sorts of things of that nature. So, you know, make sure what you want to be known for and what you want to be known as is also broadcasted on your social media in a positive light, because at the end of the day, and also as you progress throughout your college career, employers, corporate America, they do look at your social media. So nothing is truly, on a close friends or, can be deleted. So I would say, never be sloppy and definitely maintain your reputation and your persona throughout all areas of your life and not just in the classroom, if that makes sense. Let me know in the chat if your question is answered.
That's good. Anybody else want to tackle that one?
I'll jump on. So, John is actually my chief of staff, and so that's a great question, John. I would definitely say that it is possible to balance being a public personality and a freshman, but I also think that depends on how do you come across to begin with, because I'm I don't know how well is trained at home. I don't know if everybody got home training. So if you come off a certain way to begin with, maybe you don't have that much to worry about when it comes to that balance of public personality. However, I do think that it's in much like Issa said, I do think it's important that you do step out of your comfort zone, that you do go out and venture. But remember your own morals and also know your limits. So, and also like she said, social media. Somebody's always recording at every function, at every party, at every event. So make sure that you're being conscious and cognizant about where you are, who you're with, and what you're around. So you don't have so much to worry about. You don't have to have that weight on your shoulders like, goodness, did somebody see me doing X, Y, and Z? Especially as a freshman. Because as a freshman, you, at least at Virginia State, because you can't join a lot of stuff, it's so easy to kind of get sucked into the party culture that is Virginia State, that is college in general, I should say. Um, it's so easy to get stuck into that party culture that you kind of lose that public sense.
Yes. I want to ask you all too, even when it comes to kind of touching on that point a little bit, when it comes to, the personality and freshman side, do you all ever feel pressure to, like for instance, drum major, you all are members of, your fraternity, honors college, you all ever feel the pressure to almost like put on a show, not necessarily a show, but like be this person that people think you're supposed to be, versus, like this is who I am as a person. How do you all feel about that?
I'll take
You
um
you want to go?
yeah, I actually no, you go. 'Cause I just finished talking. Go ahead.
So, as a person, I would say you have to always remember that that you are in college for yourself. So if you have the chance to hold high stages and high positions, there are people in your background that are rooting for you. They're rooting failure for you. They want you to fail. So therefore, you have to keep that in mind and make sure that you put on the show for yourself to prove them wrong.
Mm, that's good. That's good. What about the rest of you, you other two gentlemen?
For me, since I'm in like different clubs and stuff, I just keep telling myself to be myself, but also keep in mind that there are people watching. So when it comes to certain like aspects of being where I'm at, I'm conscious of what I'm doing, how I'm doing stuff. So I always keep that in the back of my mind whenever I'm out or just doing simple tasks.
And first impression is everything. Whether it's you're meeting somebody, whether they see a video of you, your first impression is everything. Your first impression is everything.
That's facts.
Very, very well said from both of you. Um, I would say yes and no in terms of that pressure. I would say, since even in my freshman year, I was vice president for my class, and now I'm transitioning into this new role as the president of the honors college. Um, I would say that it's not pressure unless people don't really know who you are. People who know me, or people who don't know me, when they see me, they see I'm very business oriented, or that's how I like to I come off, I guess. I'm very business oriented. Times like I mean, and that I'm not fun or anything. But those who actually know me and take the time to know me, they know that I'm very, very easygoing. I'm very, relaxed. I don't know what it is about me, but like sometimes I really think that I don't have a brain. Like I just be wilding. I really just be wilding. But I think it's important that you don't really succumb to those to that third party criticism, or to those people who don't know that much about you, because people are always going to be watching. And especially when you are in a position of student leadership. I know one of the gentlemen is the drum major, the other, I believe he said he was the SGA president. It's very easy to succumb to all these eyes being on you and having to like maintain and uphold this image that you didn't even put. But I that it's also into whatever position, or just as a person, you should add your own sense of whatever you're a part of. So me being the president doesn't mean that I have to be a certain way. The way I act is the way I act. The way I am is the way I am. I'm very blunt. I like to think I'm funny. Some people tell me I'm funny. Some people I don't. But I think keeping those traits that are mine and that are inherently me, um, I don't. I choose not to allow my position or allow anyone else's opinion dictate that or deter that or change that.
Mm,
To piggyback off of my wonderful colleagues, the three gentlemen and Deontay, I would say yes and no. As Black people, obviously we deal with societal pressures, pressures stemming from being a minority, pressures from being Black, being a Black man, being a Black woman. On an HBCU campus, you also do deal with HBCU societal pressures and things like that. I would say when you ask the question, a saying that my mom and my dad, who are in the chat, always tell me is like, you came into the world alone and you're going to leave alone. So at the end of the day, you have to make sure that the people around you, your team, your board of advisors is very strong. So if you do fall into the pressure, they wake you up out of it and they remind you of who you are. If you lose sense of that, and to agree with what everyone else said as well, just remember who you are. why you're there. At the end of the day, you're not there to go along with the latest trend. You're not there to go to that party. You're not there to be like everyone else. You're there to leave your mark and to leave your stamp on the institution and, ultimately pave the path for your life. So I would say pressures are always going to be there. And I would be lying if I say, sometimes you do fall into the pressures. We all do, but you have to wake up out of that.
Yeah.
Can I say one more thing?
Oh, go ahead.
And also, so I already spoke on a drum major perspective. He already spoken on the SGA perspective. Now, us as a fraternity, I would say we also have a lot of pressure on us because whenever we go to a party, there are people rooting for us to get caught drinking. People are rooting for us to get caught doing this and that. But within our fraternity, we have a saying, and it's pressure makes diamonds. And we hold that above our heads so much because it keeps us intact on who we are and it keeps us under control.
That's good. And I think that's definitely a good point you brought up. Like people they're looking for because you have those letters on you. And it's like once you join the organization, it's almost like you're really not an individual anymore. It's like you're that Kappa, you're that person from this organization. So that's definitely a good point you brought up. Let's see, we have another question. Tanisha asks, how are you balancing your brand with your dating life? What if they clash?
That's a good question.
Oh, that's a good one. Who wants to go?
I think in any capacity of your life, and even that's a platonic capacity, but specifically even in datings, it's important that you have boundaries. And if you are with someone, they should respect those boundaries. And if your brand is clashing, I'm not saying that I don't understand the question, but I think that if someone in your life is clashing with your brand, then perhaps they aren't going to uphold and escalate your brand because it's clashing. At no point in time should what you are doing, who you are as a person, at no point in time should that deter someone or should that start having this sense of clashing because your brand and if hopefully I believe most or in the majority of humans are good-hearted people are good people. So if your brand is something good, it should not clash unless it's clashing with something bad.
I agree with that. Like I said earlier, your board of advisors, your committee is very important. So your committee isn't just mentors or sponsors or your friends. It also could be someone of a love interest or platonic and romantic relationships as well. But I think, just keep business and pleasure separate, obviously. Like I said, put yourself first. If you have this meeting to go to, do that. If you have this career fair to go to, do that. If you have an interview at 9, do that and make sure the things you do, prior to set you up for the best result for that interview. So I think we all, come into contact with HBCU love and things of that nature, of course. But at the end of the day, you're here for a degree. So you should do everything in your power to get that.
So she stole the words right out of my mouth. Just like she said, you have to know how to separate business from pleasure. Your pleasure should be your personal business. You should keep that between you and your partner. In business, that's what people are looking for. Nobody's looking for who are you dating or who are you with at the time. Yet they can use that against you. That's why you should keep it on a personal level. You shouldn't let everybody know your business. But on the business standpoint, that's where everybody's looking at. That's where you build your brand. So make sure you separate business and pleasure always.
I would also say to finish that point, on HBCU campuses, they might seem big, but they're small. So like everyone knows everyone, including staff, faculty, students, alumni.
Everybody knows.
So you should just, like he said, keep your personal business your personal business. It should be you. It should be between party A and party B. There should be no other parties involved and things like that. But at the end of the day, your books is the most important, and yourself as a being, your mental health, your emotional health, physical health as well. So, yeah,
That's facts. And a follow up question to that I do want to ask you all is how do you all, especially being in a fraternity, but really being in any organization, period, and holding leadership positions, you're always going to have people who they're attracted to you for, a certain reason. So what I want to know is, you all being students, how do you differentiate who's really there for you versus who may just want to be there because of, what they feel like they can get from you because of who you are?
I'll take this one. And then I'll promise I'll be quiet. I promise. But like I said, my mom and my dad are in the chat, and just off the bat, one thing that my mom always raised me with is like, you have helpmates and you have playmates. So you have the people in your circle that will be there at your lowest and at your highest, and the people that you will have in the long run as well, because we do make those friends in college. And then you have playmates. You have people that you can go to a party with. You have people that you can have fun with, go to an event with, but you might not be able to call on them when you need them the most. So as adults, you do need to do that introspective work and that outerspective work, and differentiate who that is in your life. And also too, you also have to be able to cut ties with people as well. If someone's not there for you, then they need to be gone. Like, it's really that simple at the end of the day as well. You also need people that you can grow with as well. The same friends you have freshman year might not be your friends senior year, and that's perfectly fine. It's actually the norm. So that's just something that, my family raised me with. You have helpmates and you have playmates, and you need to know who is who.
I would add to that. I would say, you better check that transcript. No, I'm playing, but doing right in school, first of all. I'm not saying that smart people don't have their downfalls, that they don't play games either, because they're people. But outside of that, I'll also say that everybody that you meet you don't have to cross that line with. There are some people who need to just be friends, and who need to just be associates even. And so it's very crucial, and it's very, very pivotal that you make those boundaries, because if you allow people, and this is a choice that you're making, if you allow people to come into your sanctuary and disrupt your sanctity, where does that leave you? So you see that people have not, and I'll direct this toward the guys at Talladega. You see that people, maybe they weren't mess with you before you got your letters. Now they all in your face. I don't know what Drake said. I probably can't say it up here. He said, "You ain't really messing with me then, but how about now?" Like you got to know that it's people really like that. And that's fine. That's life. That's how life goes. But it's important for you to keep those people at a distance, to keep them at arm. That doesn't mean to be nasty to them. That just means that you understand your worth. You understand that you are more than just your letters. You are more than just this position. You are giving yourself a space of a sense of worthiness. So definitely know that everybody doesn't have to. You don't have to cross that line with everybody. And if they really, really will rock with you, first they'll rock with you as a friend first, and then they'll let it develop into something else.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Definitely been times where people don't know your name till after you get letters, or after you get, like I said, into certain leadership roles. I've been plenty times where after like come SJ president, or after joining to the fraternity, folks walk up, "Oh, hey, Ashton," like, "Hey, but who are you?" But like I said, that's just how things go. But like I said, you have to learn how to. It's kind of a test when it comes to people who you interact with, people who say they want to be around you. When it comes to being in those high stakes, in those times where you're in a high road, but you have to test them. Like I said, when you get to your lowest, seeing that they're for you, if they'll come by, try to help you when you're going through stress. If you're stressed out, if you kind of have like a mental breakdown at time, that helps you see who will be there for you in the long run, and see who is there just to with you to help you push through whatever you got going on. Besides people who are there just to be around. When I say you are in a high stake around president giving this speech here, or just being able to get into this meeting, this party, in this section, there's a lot of things that come with that. So just gotta read people. Also, when it comes to having friends have about a long time. Like I say, I have friends that if they know I'm talking to someone and they know something is not right, they're never afraid to tell me. I'm the same way, I'm never afraid to tell them. So I always gotta keep someone like that in your corner who can have your back as well as having theirs too.
And as far as finding partners that you want to deal with, I would say make sure they support your head before you let them support your bed. And what that means, make sure that they support your goals and your morals before you want to lay up with them, because that can be distracting. That can give off bad energy. That can also create bad habits.
That was,
Um,
oh, go ahead. Go
oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I would also say like, listen to the red flags. So like there
This
are
is a
red
red flag.
flags.
This
There are
is a
red
red flag.
flags within people that you might be interested in romantically, and there are also red flags within platonic relationships such as friends. Even red flags, in family, people in the workplace. There could be red flags amongst anyone. So I would say listen to the red flags, keep like a mental file, like of each person, tuck things that they do in there, things like that. Fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. So, as you're going about your HBCU life or life in general, advice to people in the chat, anyone, just listen to the red flags. Make sure that, you definitely pay attention to what people do to other people and to you as well.
That was some great. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
One thing I would say throughout my whole college journey, I would say people show love and affection differently. So let's say someone may be like more distant, more they don't really talk to you, but it'll be some people where they want to show affection, like, oh, can you do this, can you do that? So I feel like it should be more of a self love type thing. You know what yourself is, what yourself wants, so you want to make sure that you keep yourself sane, but with saying that, communication is key. So, like, let's say you have a problem with something, communicate that. Not in an argument way, but more of a communication wise, like, hey, this is how I feel about this type of situation. But, people show love and affection different ways. So, communicating that is very key.
Mm, that's facts. And Bernard, you said so. I was like, that needs to be on a T-shirt to make sure they should support your what is it?
Oh,
Support your
support
head.
your bed before you let them support your bed. Yes.
That's a good one. That's like some good life advice too, because that's a whole nother topic of conversation. But yeah, no, that was good for sure. And once again, as we get ready to wrap things up, it's been a great conversation with you all. But we always want to hit on mental health in the campus rundown. We definitely want to, especially you all being student leaders, being a part of so many different organizations. How do you all just really, just practice self-care and really just keep your mental health in check?
You have to take time to yourself. I can say from being, and like I say, yes, Jay, this is my third year being here. It's times where you have to just cut your phone off. Hey, like tell my advisor, hey, I'm here for a little while. You need me text. You have to make sure that you keep your mental status in good standing. That just comes with anything, like I said, because you as a student, you only one person. You have schoolwork, you have something like athletics, band, social life, Greek. You just have to make sure that you make sure that you just take care of yourself. It can wear you down. There have been times where I just like you get those months like I can't do this no more. Like earlier, I even said I don't know if I can go on another semester with this, but there's just things that come with it. You just got to learn how to push through. You also got to have people in your corner, like I say earlier, that can help you. They can talk to you about it. That can y'all also be there. Tell you, hey, you need to take a break. Hey, let's go here. Let's chill. Just never be afraid or hesitate to take a time to yourself. Like I said, you are a person as well, and you have to make sure that you can keep your mental status straight so you can continue to achieve as you're going throughout your college life.
And I would say never be afraid to put aside people expectations to make sure that yourself is okay. Whether you need to look in the mirror and have a talk with yourself, whether you need to just take a trip, take a walk, whatever you need to do, make sure that yourself is okay. You have to make sure that yourself is okay before you make sure anybody else is okay.
I would say like three things that I would touch on is like I think the pandemic definitely taught all of us that being introspective and mental health is number one. I feel like before the pandemic, personally as well, like we were all always on go. Like it was my junior year of high school. second semester. My senior year was online. I was working full time. It was a lot. It was a lot, but I also learned how to put my mental first. Um, at VSU and Memorial Hall, we have a university counseling center, so we have free therapy. We also have a hotline you can call as well. So, mental health, we have mental health awareness walks. We have wellness days at VSU as well, where the university classes will be canceled for the whole day and they'll bring massaging services. We'll have sips and paints, hot yoga, things of that nature, just to put the students' mental health first. I also think as Black people within our community as well, mental health is very taboo. And, if you put your mental health, you're pictured in a weak light and things like that when, it's actually quite the opposite. It takes strength to be vulnerable and to be able to say, I need a break, when you're always on go. Breaks are needed, sleep is needed, self time is needed. So, those are some things that our college does to ensure the mental health of its students and things like that. And yeah.
So did a great job of mentioning what Virginia State University does. But I would say spend some time in nature. Nature will be here, has been here since before we got here. Is going to be here way after we leave. So some walk through some grass barefoot. Walk through the grass barefoot. Let the wind ripple through your body. There's no reason that when you go outside in the sun that with vitamin D you get happy. So definitely spend some time in nature and really connect with it, not just walking through it. Really inhale the air. Listen to the trees, listen to the birds in the sky, and really be thankful and cognizant of where and how minute you are compared to these living organisms that have been here for millions, maybe billions of years. That's one thing. Also, one thing that I do with my council, outside of us working together and planning things, we also spend a lot of time with each other, just laughing. Laughter is that one thing that nothing can touch. When you're in the heat of something funny, when you're in the heat of laughing, there's nothing else that can touch that moment. So definitely laugh more. Find people that make you laugh, and get away from people who don't. Get away from people who stress you out. Today has been one of those days for me, outside of this, where I have not been productive at all, and I'm okay with saying that because I feel like sometimes you feel so pressured to do so much because you have so much on your plate. Whether you are in a Greek organization, or you're in a social organization, whether you're in an academic organization. Me personally, I'm the president of our honors college. I'm a co-captain for Speak State, and I'm also an RA. So I'm constantly in a place where people are looking at me for me. Sometimes you gotta tell people, yo, I'm not doing that today. Sometimes you got for real, like sometimes you gotta tell people, yo, you better go figure that out yourself. And it's nothing against them, it's all love, but you have to really be cognizant and be aware of where are you at mentally, where are you at spiritually. So sometimes, if you're a religious person, definitely center yourself and pray. Definitely center yourself and pray. If you're somebody who's a little bit more spiritual, go out, like Kayla said, to meditate, and just hear yourself think, journal, write poetry, sing a song, clap your hands together, whatever the case may be. Just going to kind of bring you back to center.
And
Yeah,
then
put
two
the
things.
phones down. Put the phones. There's so much poison in these phones. Put them down. Go outside. Take a walk. Go run. Play basketball. Indulge in meditational activities. Do yoga. Anything. Just put the phones down. Put the phones
Two things I would add. I would say like it's okay to not be okay. I think a lot of people, especially, like the guy, from Talladega, SGA president, he's a Kappa. Like, you do so much. Sometimes you think that you always have to be okay to fulfill those positions and to, be there when people want you to be there. But, we all fall short sometimes. We all have those moments where, we're not so okay. And it's okay not to be okay as long as you ask for help. It's okay to ask for help as well. We all need assistance. We all need help to improve and to bounce back. I would also say find your happy place. Find that place that makes you that you haven't been in a while. Find that place that makes you very productive. I know for me, I love going home. The food is great. The culture is great. The family is great. As you can see, they're in the chat repping. That's like my sanctuary is in my house with my mom and my dad, things like that. So find your happy place. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to not be okay.
And
You
just
have to always remember that each day that you live, whether you make a mistake or whether you find success, is always a lesson and never a failure. You live to move on and improve on the certain thing that you failed on. You know, you're not perfect. You're gonna mess up, but don't let that mess up affect who you are, affect your mentality. You know, you always have to keep a healthy mind because that's gonna keep a smile on your face, and that's gonna push you to keep moving forward day on and day on.
Mhm.
definitely agree. And I would say, lastly, and it's going to be quick, but I would say, especially to the black men out there, it is okay to cry. Uh, And sometimes you feel like you are drowning because you are drowning from all those tears you didn't let escape you. So it is okay to cry. It's okay to be vulnerable.
Mhm.
Definitely, you are human. Be a human. Just be a human.
That's good. Look, y'all gave some really great advice. This was a great conversation as well. We're definitely gonna have to have you all back again for another conversation with us.
Of
But
course.
before we go, what are some final words you all want to leave? Maybe some things you all have coming up on your respective campuses that you want people to know about. Oh, and definitely drop your social media and all that as well.
One thing I would say is you come to college to some people come to graduate, some people come to build themselves. Now, graduation is the goal, but being in college is a process. From your freshman year to your senior year is a process. You have to be open within that process, you know, because that's how you build your brand. You just can't build your brand doing the same thing over and over again because that's a habit. All habits aren't good, all habits aren't bad, but you have to be open to try new things, and you never know that new thing might be the best for you. You know, that new thing might lead you to the success that you always wanted, but you have to be open. But be yourself while you're being open. Don't let anybody affect who you are. Don't let anybody affect your mentality. If you need somebody to talk to, find somebody you're comfortable with and talk to them.
Remember, you're here for a purpose. Remember, you are paying to get education. So make sure that you stay abreast of what you're here for. Make sure that you take advantage of your professors of your work. Like I said, let them know that you're paying to receive your education. So never miss opportunity just to achieve and become better in anything that you're doing.
I would say my takeaway for people in the chat, people that aren't students, people that have kids, anyone, just try and grow every day. Do something that you haven't done before. Learn one new thing. Change something in your routine. Just try to grow every day so you're not stagnant and that you're not sitting on your potential energy. Potential energy, it doesn't move. It doesn't increase, it doesn't grow. Make sure you're using your kinetic energy and growing, flourishing each day. Manage your money better. Find out how to change a tire. I'm trying to find out how to change tires and stuff in my car. So, just try to grow every day, student or not student, but just as a being in general.
Dang, East said y'all broke it. I ain't got no survival skills. That's what I heard. But but other than that, I ain't gonna say all that now. But great points, absolutely. I would just say that continue to pour into other people. Just as you want other people to pour into you, make sure that you are pouring into other people, and that if not pouring from a full cup, I want my cup to overflow in any capacity, because what you do comes back. So the energy, the karma, all of that, whatever you put out, it is going to come back to you. So continue to put out positivity, continue to put out light, continue to lead with integrity. And through that, I hope that it comes to fruition that something beautiful takes place in your life.
Yes. That's good. Like y'all gave some great advice. I'm definitely remembering that quote, Bernard.
Support.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Support your head before your bed. You should really get that on a shirt. That was good. Yeah, drop your you all social media handles and where can people find you?
How do you do that? I don't see an option in the private chat.
Or no, you could just say it and then we'll put in the caption and stuff. If you all just want
My
to just, yeah.
Instagram is Issa underscore the funny one, number one, all lowercase, ISSA underscore THEFUNNY, number one. Yeah, that's my main platform. You'll see a lot of organization stuff and motivational things as well. So yeah, follow me on Insta, you guys.
Definitely follow me on Twitter as well. DIONTE period TAEKWON. And also follow the VSU Honors College page at VSU Honors College Honors with an S. And yeah,
My Instagram handle is at __ flip the script DA script, and you can also find my Line Brothers handles on the GG Noops Instagram page, and they're gonna say their Instagrams too.
My Instagram is Pete Robbie, PEEPROBBY.
My Instagram is AS_HALL21.
Okay. All right. Well, look, this has been a great conversation once again. Thank you all for tuning in the comment section. I see a lot of people saying they enjoyed the conversation. So this has been great, you all. And yeah, once again, we do this every single Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely right here, same place, same time, and we will see you all next time. You all can stay on 1 second before we go, but we will see you all next time in the chat and everywhere.
Be great. Be great.